What is going on? The Mike and Rico show back after a couple weeks break. Had to do a little bit of traveling, so Mike had to hold it down in my absence. Uh, Big game this weekend, Mike. You were there.
Hmm.
Big test. Couple ranked teams. One obviously being the Noles. One obviously being in the playoff picture, and then a 5-1 Duke team that got their quarterback back, Riley Leonard. Played with a lot of guts. It was pretty cool to see him get out there and give it a go. And this Duke team, coached by Mike Elko, man, they're really good. So just real quick before we go into the actual condensed game and break it down, what was your overall thoughts of the matchup?
Yeah, really good game. I knew coming in that defensive front for Duke was going to be really good, but they're even better than I thought. And seeing
Mm-hmm.
them in person, they're the best defensive line I've seen FSU play against. They keep rotating. They have 8 guys they rotate on defensive line. They're so good, and it's just a very good team. They run the ball well. They got some success early on running against FSU, but as the
Mm-hmm.
game wore on, FSU got control of that, but. Just a really good team, very warranted top 15 ranking for those guys. They didn't drop much in the polls, and they shouldn't because they're good. Really good team, and they get Ryan Leonard back. They're gonna be really tough to beat.
Yeah, and when we say Riley Leonard, we mean all the way back to where he's
Yeah.
not limited. And so we're going to jump into it. Let's start off with the kickoff. It's going to roll right into it.
Low kick.
Knowles get the ball first here. And we kneel. So here we are coming out.
On second down,
Nice success. Interesting to see Toafili get some carries
Hmm.
early in the game. Mike, you think there's anything to see there?
Yeah, I mean they're certainly showing more confidence in him running the ball, between the tackles. But I think his best success, as you'll see later in the game, is what they do as him as a all around player. But overall, I
Ooh,
think
run
he,
you
he
over. Run
that
you over a bitch.
that was probably Toa Philly's best game that I've seen. Very assertive as far as what he sees with the block setting up, and certainly did well in the first drive, but it kind of stalled, and then they ended up getting stuffed on fourth down. Kind of what I was talking about. That defensive front, they had so many third and ones, and it was really hard for FSU to get third and ones, and that just speaks to kind of what Duke
I
has.
hate this. I hate
Yeah.
this right here. We
Oh yeah.
practice buddy tackling. I mean, under Mickey, that's what we practice all the time. And when
Hmm.
you get two and you allow yourself to be split for a first down there,
Terrible
this
angle
doesn't
by
look
20. That whole
this
play was
doesn't
set
look
up.
good.
That was set up by 23. If you rewind it back, we can stop it. 23 took a terrible angle inside. He's supposed to guard the sideline to force him in. It probably would have been a no gain if he did that. He didn't. And this is why coaches harp so much on angles. And when you take bad angles, Cypress, you pay the price. And that Duke scored on a 42-yard run because he didn't contain his outside leverage.
Let's see, did he get in?
He was in.
That's a hell of a run. But yeah,
Yep.
Cypress, I mean, we've been having this issue, and I know it's got to be driving Coach Fuller crazy. I mean, outside contain, man, edge defender. If you're the edge defender, you got to hold the damn edge. And we've been missing the edge several times in and out of these games. It's
Another
becoming a
third and
problem.
one. Another third and one.
What are
They
we
have to
doing?
they have to pass for it. They get it. Get Murlock down the field, but
Yeah,
it
but I
was
hate that play though. What are we doing? Run the ball, man. You know
well.
what I
They
mean?
can't. They were struggling so much running the ball on third and ones, as you'll see a lot during this game. Here they get stuffed on fourth and one. Like they
Wow.
can't run on this front early in the game.
Wow,
Obviously,
90 and
that
97 getting crazy penetration.
yeah, I was really impressed with I think it's either 15 or 16 for them. Man, you'll see it
Blitz
during
from
the game.
depth. Got to get there. Got to get there. I
Pass a
like
little
it
bit.
though.
Pass was
Bringing some.
behind them. Yeah, get an early another field goal to chip in, and now they're down 10-0. Another 10-0 deficit for FSU. We've seen
Reminds you
those.
of Clemson.
Yep.
So
Um,
right here, this is a key. This is a key part of the
this
game. Like
and it.
you got to
Yep.
keep your kids.
Look at this
What
catch.
the hell was that? Marquise
Yeah.
going around the back. What are we doing here?
He caught it through his legs, pulled it back in, and then caught it, and then got like the first down. But this is what I've talked about with Rico off the air. they respond every time they get something adversity wise, whether down 2 scores. Did the same thing against Clemson. They do the same thing here. March down the field methodically. Really locked
Nice.
in.
Good read. Who is this, Marquiston again?
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, this is a 3 tight end school, man. We've got 3 of them. Obviously, Jaheim being probably the highest rated, and then Morlock. But Marquiston, man, he's a very good blocker, and you can ghost him a lot. I hope that
Yeah.
ball needs to be up a
Yeah,
little bit, but he caught it.
Johnny was phenomenal. This game obviously got hurt later with looks like a slight concussion again, but he had some unreal catches. Johnny's been really
Nice
good
ball.
the
Nice
last few weeks.
ball. Look at that. Another tight end first down there. I mean, that's so now you've seen 2 of the 3 tight ends. We'll see Bell later, but that's 2 of the 3. I mean, that's depth. That's key. Here's Bell right there. So that's 3 tight ends getting first downs on one drive.
Yeah, and that one by Morlock was a 1st and 20 too. So I mean that was major. You got Keziah Holmes busting
Nice.
through, fighting through the play. He has really impressed me the last 2 weeks. Like he's really getting in the groove. You really see him getting a lot more playing time. Because he was there and he didn't really got there in the summer, and so he was a little behind a lot of the other guys, but you can really see he's
Look
starting
at
to
this right
settle
here.
in now.
Boom.
He's
Look at Keon. Keon's got this dude 7 yards in the end zone, blocking the shit out of him. That's what I'm. That's why Keon's going to be a top 10 pick in this draft, because he does stuff like that. His assignment, he erased him, put him over there with the the Garnet Gold girls.
Yep, that was the good. Here comes the bad.
All right, here's 10-7. I have a feeling I know it's coming up. I think Jordan had a big mistake here. Here's Riley going up top.
Little
Good
high.
stop on 3rd and 10. Defensively, we look pretty sound. There's one run. Cypress takes a bad angle.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it looks like defensively we're pretty sound. Again, it's my first time seeing this.
Made a terrible just mistake here. We got a hold here, and it really backed us up. That really killed us special teams. That backed them all the way to goal line, and then, of course, this play where Jordan's throwing it late. Not that play. Not that play, but the next play he throws it late, and when you throw it late,
tackled twice.
Yep.
3rd and 12. Got to play safe here, Mike. Got to play safe here, and we don't
do it in triple coverage.
Yeah, you can't get greedy there. It's a 10-7 ball game. Your defense is playing well. You have to play safe here. You know, that was a very soft throw. Looked like he backfooted. Let's see if he steps up into the throw here.
He steps up, but he's throwing.
Where are we going with the ball?
The problem with this play is they're rushing 3. So there's a zone. All you got to do is find the zone, and Jordan did a poor job of finding the zone. He forced it to Keon, and he paid the price. But once
here we
again,
go, ensuing kickoff. Now you're 17-7. You need to make a play. You need to respond. And here's a response. Deuce span, big time speed, 84. Stop running. You got no shot. And this is what I love. Look at Hakeem. Look at the celebration. See, this is where you can talk about the spirit. You can talk about the attitude of a ball club. Look at the excitement from Hakeem. And the whole team meets him in the corner end zone. They're all jacked up.
Great block.
It doesn't matter. The big block right there, 52. And then he's just gone. You know, when you break a middle return to either side, sometimes you really, as a kick return, you only got to make 1, max 2 miss, and then you get to space and it's a sideline. When that middle return set, all the ass of the formation is coming to the middle of the field, and when you can make a move like that, it's going to be 6. That's great execution.
One criticism I have on that play is Deuce doesn't need to turn around and start pointing, because then the ref's going to think you're taunting, and then they might not get to throw a flag before you get in the end zone. So you got to think about that next time.
All right, so here we go. 2nd quarter. We're losing contain again. God, Duke's got some good-looking athletes out there running the ball.
They have the #1 rushing attack in the ACC. They're really good. They have 2 backs that are really good. Like, they're both really good.
I got to tell you, just look at that. Hat on hat. Probably a hold right there in 62 on Verse. But at FSU, we don't get holds.
No. That was the one I thought where I was sitting. That was a really egregious hold, and they just completely missed it.
We're almost there. Great pass by Leonard. 2nd and 15.
Bethune barely missed that ball, but just a great ball. Good ball by Riley.
Good job. Good containment. That's what I'm talking about, Fabian. There you go, Fabian. Get in the backfield. Make you a living. Make you some money tonight, Fabian. That's a great ball. Wow.
Yeah, Tatum.
I'll tell you what. Tell you what, Riley Leonard. Tell you what. We'll get into it a little later, but I tell you what, Riley.
There.
Oh, baby.
Raheem.
Oh, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I told Rico before the show, this is probably one of the best picks you'll see from a safety, and you watch it and you play it back.
Man.
Look
Let's
at
see
this.
it.
Look at this ball turn and tracking and sealing.
Break on that. Go get you a ball right there, Shaheem. Jerian, please get out the way. You almost lost your ankle. Great play.
Keep it underneath you when you get your hands under it, so your body cradles it in. Just did everything right.
So when you look here, here's that man.
Good
Here's
crossing
that man.
route. Good crossing
So we're
route.
looking here. I mean, 17-14 driving. It looks like right here the Noles got control of the game.
Yeah, and then I think we just kept trying to force feed to run the ball, and we probably should have stuck more with play action. And here we go again, trying to run the ball, and they're just stuffing it. They're just everywhere.
I just don't like. I mean, it's just me ideologically. I don't like East and West bullshit on short yardage. We're Florida State. We've got NFL grading guys out there. Smash it A gap or B gap, and let's go get 2 yards, because now we go deep and we shy away from the run because we got stoned on third down or second down, and now third down we try a jump ball and they play it great. Good job, Fitz. Once again, knocking the field goal through. Has he missed a kick yet?
I think I saw the stat that he hasn't missed a kick all year.
Wow.
Like, he's been perfect. Look at that
Boom.
slam.
Jesus.
It's Byron Turner.
Nice, Brian Turner. Got to be careful. They usually flag that. Got away with it that time. Yeah, it's disappointing right there. 2nd and 2, you'd like to see us stuff that, get more penetration.
Yeah, get up the line faster.
They must have got a holding call there. Sending a blitz. Got to get home, guys. Where's our edge defender? That is freaking noxious, and he's still going. 2nd and 20, you got to get home, man. You got to get home. And if you're blitzing on the inside, if you're the outside rush end, you got to be mindful of that. Blitz looks like it's going to come C gap here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've got to stay outside.
Exactly.
And that's Patrick Payton again. Payton, you got too much talent. Got to stop doing undisciplined stuff. You got to stay outside. If he stays outside there, outside leverage, that's a no gain at best. And now they're just gashing us. Look at this.
Yeah, they're running back.
Just owning us up front. I mean,
their running backs had their way in the first half. They really were creating great gaps, and we weren't filling our gaps good. Some of it was blocking for Duke, and some of it was just not filling gaps.
Phenomenal blocking. Who was that just got blown up 6 yards into the backfield? That's phenomenal O-line play and soft D-line play. That's got to be a tackle for loss. Fentrell Cypress again, dude. Again, Fuller's going to have to put you on the sideline, dude, if you keep doing this. If you keep losing edge, I mean, you lost it for a touchdown, and here you are again, losing it again. You got to be able to bully up, break, see which way, chuck them, and get there. I mean, you have to be able to do that. You're going to play at this level.
They did a good job bowing up on the end of this drive, but this is a pivotal part, I thought, in the game. Home to 3, you're okay. You're going to half. You're only going to be down 3 if you can hold them the field goal.
Inside. Gap integrity. That's a good job right there. Good right there by
Jerian did exactly what we didn't see Cypress. You see it guarding the edge out.
Akeem made that play. That's a great job by Akeem coming down from safety spot. That's phenomenal safety play. All right, 3rd and goal. They're obviously not there. Hold on to them. Good job. Good job, Deloach. Good job getting in there, holding them. So now it looks like they're holding to a field goal at the end of the half. They execute it because they're a good football team. So seesaw back and forth kind of half. Oh, let's see what kind of crazy mess we do here.
It's just the end of the half. We get kind of down there a little bit. FSU does, and then they kind of stall because Jordan couldn't get the first down and his knee was down, and so it was the end of the half, right there.
Oh man, that's a hell of a.
It's a good flip, but his knee was down when he flipped it.
Okay. All right, so first half, Duke's up 2017. I don't want to say it's a game where you felt like we should be down more. It felt like we didn't capitalize on some stuff, and Duke played well, played up. I don't think Riley was so limited to where he was ineffective. I just think that he's more of a runner than a passer, and we did get a big pick. Wow. We're just getting run over here. Yeah, Duke's winning some impact battles here, which is not good to see.
And this was
Here.
this is kind of where they bowed up
Boom. That's what
first
I'm
drive.
talking about. You're going to run out there on the sideline and get outside the pocket. You're going to get your ass lit up. Good. Way to
These
finish it.
first two drives, they really bowed up defensively, and it kind of set the tone. Another slip by Keon here, or he could have been running for a little while.
He's got
But
some great wiggle, man. For a guy his size, he's got some serious wiggle. Benson, you got to be more direct, brother. That's
yeah,
too much stutter stepping. That's too much Le'Veon Bellin, man. We got to be more direct. He's too fast of a runner. If he just hits the hole and trusts it, oh boy, we're going crazy.
yeah, that was the one where it was.
This guy just got absolutely corralled.
Yeah,
No
it should
PI there.
should have been defensive holding. They missed it
he
again.
corralled him. He was walking a dog.
There wasn't a flag there, even though you see a flag. There's not a flag. They picked it up, so they got the ball in their drive. And this is I thought the most pivotal moment of the game right here was this drive right here, because this is the one that kind of changed it over. And we'll get to Rico's favorite analogy in a few minutes coming up for Duke. But
Let me guess. They didn't take the points. When I get my football team, whatever level it is, I promise you, we will freaking take the points because it's what smart coaches do. You don't not take the points, especially right here, up 20-17. The way your defense is playing, it's just clear
Riley
and
gets
concise.
hurt.
There you go.
That's where Riley got hurt. Fisk was trying to pull back and grab his hand, and he grabbed the face mask, and then he got twisted up underneath, and now we got the backup in. And this was the pivotal point in the game right here.
3rd and 5 here. Yeah, I guess they got to push, so they're figuring they can get another push. But
4th and 3.
Yeah, it's just tough.
Anytime you get 4th and 3.
Good job. Good pressure. Oh, nothing.
Anytime you have 4th and, in my opinion, when you get 4th and 3, you take the points. Like anything above 2.
Benson, brother, you got to hit it. You got to hit it. I mean, we got to hit it. There's some plays, man, any running back coach is going to tell you. There's some plays, just get back to the line of scrimmage. That should have been a hard dive to the outside. Get those 2 yards. You trying to cut back to the inside to keep the defense. It's not going to work. That's offside. Should be.
They didn't call offsides. They got back, but Jaheim still caught it first down. Yeah, this was this drive felt like it lasted like 2 years, and this was the drive I think that won them the game because it really
a cut by Jordan. That's phenomenal right there. That's phenomenal.
And that's the other difference we saw in the second half. Jordan started taking the runs.
Nice
Another good ball to Hakeem.
I'd like to see it get up a little bit. I'd like to see that in the chest, though. That's something at the next level. I know we're nitpicking, but Jordan, when it comes combine time, when you're throwing, man, you got to stick that. What a grab.
That's where Johnny got hurt. He hit his head really hard on the ground. And then here's a nice screen. Jaheim, watch this. Get off me. Boom.
Wow.
What's up?
Wow. That's phenomenal effort.
And then
there you go.
Then another great play to Jaheim, trying to hurdle people like he's Keon Coleman, but he ain't.
Yeah, be careful there. Jesus.
And then this is just, you really felt like, okay, they're in a rhythm now. Things are in a rhythm. Jordan's running.
This is what we've been wanting to see. This is what we've been wanting to see. Now, Coach Norvell's been really smart with Jordan because we don't want to get him banged up. We had a scare in the Boston College game. Let's see right here. Trey, what do? Go get somebody, Trey. Go get somebody, Trey. Go get somebody, Trey. Go get somebody, Trey. If you get on that earlier and go get him, that's a touchdown.
PI? Against Keytron.
Golly, that's the second time they've been corralled.
Yeah, it's a great play. I love this play. Jaheim lead blocker. See you later. Thanks. Get out of the way, 29. You ain't getting
a little late hit, but it's all good. We won't say nothing about that. It's all good. Comes with the territory. Big drive here, though. Big drive. So Duke goes for it up 2017. Yeah. Didn't take the points.
96
Momentum
yards.
Swings. 96-yard drives. Championship football, man. This is what you do.
I love this play call to swing Jaheim out of the backfield to lead block. Bam. There's no way you're not getting in.
Yep, 45's got to hold this block a little better. I don't like when you come there and pity pat. I remember when we were at Riverview High School, we had a we had a receivers coach who came in when I went to the DBs, and he
Mhm.
was teaching these receivers to come up and just chop their feet and stay there. And I used to get on them. I would say that's pussy blocking. Like, you get there as a receiver and you fucking meet him and you put
Maybe.
this part of your mask in his face and you drive his ass. That's what
Yeah.
happens when you don't do that. 45 had to have Jaheim come clean up his block because he's there and he's chopping and he's patty caking. Go get a motherfucker when you're blocking.
It's
Excuse my
Fabian
French.
killing his guy.
There you go.
This is when they started taking over defensively. There's just
There you
nothing.
go. Nice pressure. Nothing there. Nothing there. Feels like Fentrell's a step late for pretty much most of this game.
I think he's more of for me a safety than a corner when I watch him.
Coleman looks good back there fielding the ball. He keeps slipping. I don't know if we need some new cleats. Maybe he needs a
That's what
deeper
I was
spike.
wondering. Yeah, and it's another good drive. Look at this.
Oh, what in the world?
Wait till they slow this down, Rico, when you see it. This catch
Hopefully
was
they do.
unreal. Oh, they
No,
didn't,
we
but
don't get to see it again.
he literally
Jordan, nice pull. When FSU uses Jordan Travis like this, it's going to be really hard for anybody to beat them. I mean, he's a cheat code when he's running the ball. He really is. I think if the Noles can finish this out and they can get to the postseason, at that point the plastic comes off. Good luck guarding this. Good luck, because he's throwing. We've got multiple receivers we can go to, 3 tight ends, a running game, and then that's going to be a lot to account for.
Yep.
Can't give you the full money right now because we've got to keep him healthy. Good delay
Great play.
screen. Nice. Toa Philly get missing. Great blocking downfield. Marquiston. Love to see that. Actually,
they've run that play really well.
It was
They just
Marquiston.
ran the same play against LSU on a big 4th down, and then
Look at the execution.
completely
Finesse the ball over the top where 40 can't get to it. Toa Philly is probably one of the better backs we've had in a long time at manipulating screens, and probably one of the better backs with balance. Once again, Fitzgerald looks good. Good elevation on the kick. Now we're in control, 31-20. Probably need one more defensive stop. And there it is. Duke's offensive line could not hold our D-line for 4 quarters. It looked like it was men versus boys in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's what they've done with a lot of teams. They wear them down and they beat on them, and then
4th
they
and
go
4.
for it on 4th down. And Nardo Green with a great DB play.
Good backup. I would have liked to see that pressure come from more of the inside, but hey, is what it is. All right, who's this? Rodney Hill running, push the pile. Get you some. Go get you some. Championship football, man. Go get you some.
Yeah, see the difference with the way he runs when he sees it. It's not like a page. He's gone.
Oh, man, I love that.
And that's
Now,
Kasiah.
but even that run there, it didn't look like there was much, but you got to hit it right away.
Rodney.
You got to hit it right away. Rodney Hill. Hit it right away. You can't dance and do all – you got to go, man. I don't like the Le'Veon Bell approach. I think Benson is a phenomenal back with a ton of speed. He's got to work on being more direct.
Yep. You can see it right here when they show the replay. Great block, but it's all about that explosion going right when there. You see, he's not hesitating.
Right. You get a seal. 71 gets a seal. It's designed to come right up through here.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's where it's designed to go. It's designed to come right there at that left side A gap. I mean, you get the seal, you got a pull coming around and a seal block on the left side. It's got to go there. You know what I mean? If you sit there and you wait, it closes up. You get nothing. You got to trust it. That's where the trust has to come between the backs and the offensive linemen. We still have a ways to go with that. And, we're going to have to divvy up the reps with kids who are going to trust that line. So now we're up 18.
Duke pretty much, I mean, they get a run here, but Duke pretty much was like in no hurry. They were just wanting the game to get over with. They weren't even in tempo. As you can see here, they're going slow. They're not even really rushing. They're they're getting first downs, but they're not really rushing. They're kind of like, just get this game over with. And so that's your final. Really good win, really good second half. As we've seen a lot during this year, bowed up in the second half. Kind of remind me of that LSU game where you're down by 3 at halftime. You get it, you get a lead, and then bam, 4th quarter, you just dominate.
Yeah, I feel like that is a team that's showing fight, grit, and the ability to finish. 38-20. I think the line was 13.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, some of the reactions that I saw, people were disappointed. They thought they're going to win by more. Look, I know it's not basketball season, but this Duke team, I mean, just bear with me. This Duke team won 10 games last year. This Duke team whipped the shit out of Clemson. Okay, whipped them, made a lot of plays and whipped them. This Duke team lost a heartbreaker to Notre Dame. Riley Leonard gets hurt on that last drive. They came in 5-1. I mean, they're legit good. This is their first ACC loss. And I think for the Noles to be in a dogfight, they're not playing our best ball. Duke playing really well, got their guy back, and he played dang near into the fourth quarter. We won by 18 points, dominated the fourth quarter. It's kind of the benchmark for what the Noles do. I mean, this is what they've done against LSU. Mm-hmm. This is what they've done, throughout the season. Is they've been a fourth quarter team that's really turned it on. And I think as frustrating as it is to see them kind of trade punches and spar in the first half, they were never out of it. When they got down 2 scores, they immediately came back and made it a one-score ball game, and they finished 21 points in the fourth quarter, didn't give anything up. And the last thing I'll say before you give your take on it is, Coach Adam Fuller, he gets a lot of heat from the Florida State fan base because I think a lot of us are unrealistic. Spent some time with him in the spring. He is a very good dude, and he knows a lot of ball. And I don't think that he gets enough credit. He's putting these kids in position, and there's times when we don't make plays, but you got to look at the second half. Clemson second half, LSU second half, Duke second half. When you're looking at the three of the best teams we've played, it's damn near been shutout ball. I don't count that touchdown against the threes in the LSU game. And I think Shipley had 1 touchdown in the third quarter against us in the Clemson game. Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy is calling some phenomenal football, and the kids are responding. And I think it's time that the FSU fan base realizes that we have a really good defensive coordinator in Coach Adam Fuller.
Yeah, I agree. He does a great job, and it's not just all. I mean, we saw this. We usually talk about the defense adjustments that Adam does, but there was some adjustments on offense that they made. Jordan was pulling it back more, keeping it, running it. So there was adjustments they made. They made better decisions. The blocking was a little better in the second half, and that's just kind of what this team does. And as I've said, I've explained to a lot of people. They're like, why? They want to get off the good starts. I know Mike wants them to get off the good starts, but at the same time, they're feeling out what the team's doing. Then they're dissecting what they can do to attack it. And then so that you want it to happen quicker. You want it to happen in the first half. But I think why people are kind of, they should have beat them more is like, that's where the expectations are now with FSU. Like you set the standard, you set the standard. So they're expecting to go higher and go higher and go higher a little each week. I think they are doing that in a lot of areas when you watch them as a team grow. But I think you just have to go higher each time. But I think it's a very impressive win. I mean, there's no way around it. Phenomenal win. Had over close to 70 recruits there. Certainly made a big impression. And I think overall that it was a great win for FSU because that's a very good Duke team. That's a team that's probably going to win 10 games and certainly go to a really good bowl. And they're going to be a real problem to deal with for anybody that plays them in a bowl.
Yeah, and I look at the overall stats. I mean, our secondary, despite a couple misses on the perimeter by Fentrell mainly, it's the guy I saw was routinely not holding outside, which I know Coach Fuller works on.
Oh, yeah.
We only gave up 76-yard passing and only gave up 273 for the game. Now, giving up 5.6 on the ground, Duke's number 1 rushing for a reason. They proved it. Even though we've got a good front, they still kind of ran all over us. Right. But we made up for it because the secondary really locked it down. Shaheem Brown with a great interception. We did get a turnover on the day. And we outgained them 420 to 273 and only had 1 turnover ourselves, which was the pick 6 off the Karam. If that play doesn't happen, you're talking about 13 points given up by Coach Fuller. I mean, so, this is the number 16 team in the country, came in 5-1. We give up 13 points, score 38. I mean, you got to be happy with the way that the team responded. I think it's championship ball when you respond in that manner. And you look at the numbers. I mean, despite the interception, Jordan only missed 9 throws, one of them being the pick, had 2 TDs in the air, had another one on the ground, accounted for about 330 total yards with 3 scores. He's making a push for the Heisman. I know we'll do a national show tomorrow, but I mean, Jordan's got to be up there in your top 3 or 4 at this rate with the way he's playing. I like what I'm seeing. I'm concerned about Johnny Wilson. I do think with Miami coming to town in a couple weeks, we're going to need him for this game. when Miami comes to town. But I'm really encouraged by seeing all these tight ends get involved and seeing the emergence of Hakeem and some other dudes. So
Yep.
we've got a 12 o'clock nooner in North Carolina, probably be a pretty sleepy atmosphere against Wake Forest. If this team's a championship team, they go out there and they get a good start and they get a nice, comfortable victory where we don't have to play our dudes into the deep third and into the fourth quarter. I want to see a lot of Tate Rodemaker. I want to see a lot of Keziah Holmes. I want to see a lot of Rodney Hill. I want to see a lot of Destin Hill. I want to see a lot of Hakeem Williams. I want to see a lot of Conrad Hussey on the defensive side of the ball. This is a business trip. And if we're going to be a championship team, this game Saturday should resemble a business trip. They're looking for any reason in the world to drop us from 4. I don't know what the conspiracy is against Florida State. They're looking for any reason. But if we're a championship team, we come off this great win. It's a great win. And we go out there and we handle business on the road next week, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's just the next step for them, and is we know how they respond. Every time they face adversity, bam, they respond. Now you need to see the starting the game right, sustaining that start, and then carrying that over the second half and adjust to what they're doing, then push it away. I think that's kind of where they're missing is the start and sustaining the start. And I think if they can do that, then yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for. Yeah, I agree with you. They should come out there and certainly be ready and just and take it to them early and jump on them early, put the game away, and hopefully get some work for a lot of different guys. But really, I'm just looking to see them come out there and get off to a good start and really just set the tone. There's not a lot of tone setting when we watch this team. A lot of times this year, I think the Virginia Tech game, they jumped out to 22-0, but then they kind of relaxed a little bit, let it get to 22-17 eventually, and then they eventually put it away. Didn't score again second half. So it's what I'm talking about, sustaining your start. I think that's kind of the next step for FSU.
Yep. So some big recruiting news. I know that this is your expertise.
Yep.
Talk to me about some big news on the recruiting front and what it means and the details of what happened today for the Noles.
FSU landed first on. I'll start with Saturday night. They landed 2025 four-star linebacker Ethan Pritchard. He's out of Seminoles, Sanford,
Nice.
Florida. Really good linebacker. They're really high on him. And then the big news was
The
certainly
big one.
5-star plus defensive lineman. He's a defensive end. He told me he's going to be coming as a defensive end. Is Armando Blunt. Flipped from Miami to FSU. His mom loves FSU, so certainly we know which way she was pushing. But really, a guy they never stopped working on, a great pickup, and it kind of ignites your momentum when you get a game like Duke. You kind of want to see something reflect from it, like some kind of big thing like this, and certainly they got it with Blunt, and I think it adds to. I think too, it was a big pickup for just the school in general because they're doing really well in the portal from the defense line, but we haven't seen a lot with high school kids. So I think this is like really the first one they've gotten that's really elite from the high school ranks. So getting that going, I think it's just you. We talk about how they're changing on the field and on the product, and I think they're changing too about how kids are looking at them now, recruiting from high school ranks now, where now it's more than just you're getting some guys in there that are talented. It's like you got a lot of elite guys. You got 5-star Charles Lester, 5-star plus DB KJ Bolden, Luke Cromahawk's a 5-star, and then now you have Armando Blunt who reclassified 2024. So I think it's really they're setting the standard, and now you just got to keep it going. Just got to keep improving every week, and certainly their product is mattering.
Yep. Here's Armando Blunt here today. I know you were here present for this interview,
Yep.
so this is going to be a big boost for the Noles in recruiting. I know the Canes kind of have this mindset that they're going to try to get him back, and I imagine try to NIL and throw a bunch of money. But I just think kids are starting to see the difference between FSU. And that's not a slight against Miami. Miami is what they are. They're going to be attracted to their genre and their type of recruit. But I think kids are starting to see from Florida State, like Florida State is there. They're not coming or on the way. Florida State is there. They're
Yeah,
there. Kids know they can come in and they can fill a role and play championship level football at Florida State now.
yeah, and I think the other thing with that too is like there's a lot of factors outside of just okay, FSU's product is good. I mean, FSU was leading early in that recruitment, and two, there's a connection that's really personal with Norvell and Coach Hagen's over there at FSU that was really resonated with him. It's more than just football, so it wasn't just hey, your product's the best and you're the most consistent team. It's like you know, or Armando even told me today, he's like, this is a school I feel like can develop me as a player, but even more importantly, develop me as a man. So there's a lot of connections that are personal. So it's not just, hey, they're playing better, so I went to this school, and Miami's struggling, so I didn't go there. There's a lot of factors that went into it. Armando said it very clearly. Like I'm locked in. I'm not planning on go. He said, I'm going to take an official visit at FSU. He might
Mm-hmm.
visit other schools, but it wasn't anything like serious. He sounded like a kid, and his body language gave off one that this was kind of like a decision that he really looked hard into and focused on hard to see kind of the ins and outs, the pros and cons. It wasn't something that he just did in one weekend. He's been
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it for about a month.
Now, as we look at this, I'm pulling this up, and now we're dipping into your expertise here. I mean,
Yeah.
this is your world.
Yep.
The Noles right now have the number 4 class in the country, so they're
Right.
ranked number 4, got the number 4 class in the country. I guess throw the 4s up, something I know Sarasota, Florida is very well aware of. So
Yep.
shout out to Sarasota, Florida. We got the 4th ranking both in the polls and nationally. Number
Mhm.
1 in the ACC. We talked about this last year about the Noles being
Yep.
on the way or coming. And, we're here now. Got the top class in the ACC, looking to do a little more damage. And as we scroll down here, I see that we've got KJ Bolden as a 5-star plus. Can you
Mhm.
explain what 5-star plus means? What's plus?
Yeah, 5-star plus is a new ranking they've come up with this year on three. It's basically they have like 10 guys. I don't even know if it's 10. It might be like 5 that they pick that are like the elite of the elite. Like these guys are when they get to college, they're going to make an immediate impact. I'll just give kind of a reference to kind of with that. Last weekend high school, KJ Bolden played a game, scored a touchdown receiving, scored a touchdown rushing the ball, scored a touchdown on a punt return, and he got a pick six. That's kind of what we talk about when we say 5-star plus.
Yeah, that's a good day at
Like,
the office.
yeah. So, I 5-star plus is like just a tad level higher than your regular 5-star. There, these guys when you put 5-star plus on them, you're expecting these guys as freshmen not to start, but have immediate impact right away.
Now,
Impact
as I,
the moment they step on the campus.
now, as I look at this class, obviously, I see my buddy down here, Charles Lester. Love
Yep.
that kid. Got a chance to work with him
Yep.
as he was a young kid. Now he's at Venice doing good things. He was with us at Riverview for 3 years. Big time 5-star corner. And now when you bring Bolden in, there was a 5-star plus. I mean, the secondary is getting a huge boost there. Although I do think Charles is going to dabble at wide receiver.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
do.
spoiler
I
alert.
Yeah, we
Uh,
talked
yeah.
about that. I talked with Charles like both like Saturday night and Sunday today, and he was kind of telling me the way they were kind of. I'm not going to give away secrets because I don't want Venice coaches to call me and, and say anything, but they're kind of using him in a lot of different variety ways. But he really likes receiver. That's a place that's natural for him. So I think if
Mhm.
he ends up playing receiver, he's cool with it. But DB, he's definitely. I mean, he's elite at both of them, but receivers very comfortable for him, and certainly he was another guy that was very direct in like this weekend. He's like I will be at every game, every home. If they're
Yeah.
playing at home, I'm going to be there. So I think he kind of you see why the coaches love his kind of personality of how that fits to what they do. And but they got a lot of great kids, a lot of talented kids on there. A lot of them were there this weekend, and it's a great overall class so far. I mean, they're number 4, and certainly they're going to try to push that a little bit more. But I think it also with the addition of Blunt, that really puts you on track to be pretty comfortable that they're going to finish likely with a top 5 class, and that hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah, and with the development and the coaching of Mike Norvell and his staff, it's been absolutely phenomenal. And it's just it's going to be interesting to see what we do now that we're getting top level talent. And here's the thing, guys, not to get too crazy into the recruiting, but the Noles are going to do well in the portal because look at what the portal kids do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they come here, they get put into a position, they get coached up, they get developed, and they shine and they do a phenomenal job. So I mean, yes, we're going to lose some guys. I mean, Jordan's going to be gone off to the NFL, as will Keon Coleman for sure. Got some other draft decisions, but going to the portal, the Noles have to be as attractive as anybody. And when you look at what they're doing, they're building this back end with Bolden and Lester. I love that. Chroma Hoke, I think, just got his 5th star.
Mm-hmm.
It is a phenomenal prospect. I mean, the Noles quarterback room, when you look at Rodemaker, you look at Duffy, you look at Brock Glenn, and then you look at him, you've got a senior, a junior, a sophomore, and a freshman. That's old school Bobby Bowden style, man. That's old school 90s Florida State quarterback room. So you got that, and then you get a former 5-star in Landon Thomas at the tight end position. So I love what they're building. I love where the focus of the class is. Of course, they got some tackles down here. Cam Davis was a 5-star before he dropped down to 4. I mean, Jonathan Daniels looks like a guy who's going to play in the first years there. Got some athletes surrounding them. And then I always know that with Alex Atkins, we're going to get what we need on the offensive line in the portal.
Right.
This is exciting. Not to get too deep into this. I know you're not trying to do crazy double duty with the recruiting,
Right.
but this is pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, and the portal stuff leads into high school recruiting. When you're doing well in the portal, kids in high school see these guys like Keon Coleman, that they see every Saturday. And so when you get those guys, the high school kids want to check it out and say, what's special about this? And it carries over. So now we're seeing the carryover of 2 years of FSU doing the portal. Now we're seeing the carryover to high school. The year before, I think they had around top 13, whatever, with that class. And then now this year, it's inside the top 5. So you see the carryover each year from the portal years, and it's only going to get stronger. And they've certainly established themselves as the team that the place you want to be as far as portal. So it's just getting stronger. And like I said, you just keep building it. It's kind of like the product on the field. You're looking ways to what you can make better. And they're 7-0. They're not satisfied. And you can tell, like I think Jaheim Bell had a tweet today, just like you. He's like, we appreciate the support. You guys don't know how hard we work every week, and we do it. And you can tell, like, it doesn't matter who they're playing. They're going to be ready. So nobody use the trap word because I'll go crazy if you do.
Oh,
But
Mike will beat your ass if you say trap game.
so,
Literally, he will throw
but
something at your face.
it just speaks to kind of the culture that Mike's built. That whoever they play, and I think Mike's. I love. Yeah, Mike's got a lot of good quotes, but the one I love the best as far as the team was, "I don't care what the other team's doing. We are going against ourselves." That's what Mike
Yeah.
said in the post game. Like, we are not competing against who we're playing. We're competing against ourselves to do what we need to do. And I think that's always a great analogy to look at the way, because if you start focusing on opponents, then stuff could change as far as opponents. Like, it's about what you're doing with your program, and so every week he's getting these guys ready. We're seeing improvements in certain ways, and they know they still have a long ways to go. And but overall, I think they're doing a really good job.
Well, we'll bring this up here as we finish up. AP poll comes out today. We've got Georgia up at the top, Michigan at 2. They need to just go ahead and flip those because Georgia is not playing as well as Michigan. I'm just going to come out and say it. I know Georgia has won back-to-back titles. You got to respect that. Although I will say, they got a mulligan with Bama and beat Bama when they were all banged up and had no receivers. And last year they didn't have to see Bama. But champion is champion. Georgia's been there, done that. But this year, they're just not as good as Michigan. They're just not. I mean, you're going off the last 2 years. They're not as good as Michigan. Michigan should be 1. And I honestly think Florida State should be number 2. They played a better schedule than Georgia, and they've looked better every week. They played more ranked teams, and they've dispatched them and looked better doing it. I mean, Georgia has struggled on the road against Auburn in a game they probably should have lost. Florida State is not really should have lost a game. I mean, they battled back with the Clemson game. It was nip tuck, and then they They took over in overtime, and they won in a place that nobody's won in that conference since
Hmm.
2016. I mean, this is what they're using against Florida State. I think Florida State's number 2 team in the country. Number 3, honestly, I'd have Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State has looked solid defensively. They've done a hell of a job building up that defense. They held Penn State to 12 points. I think Georgia is the number 4 team. Washington should have lost. Kenny Dillingham, what the hell are you doing, man? Take the points. You're up 1, could have been up 4. Your defense playing phenomenal ball. You go for it on 4th and whatever that was, and you throw a pick 6 and kill your team. So Washington's up here because Kenny Dillingham makes just a terrible, terrible coaching mistake. You're going to never live that down. Had a chance for a huge upset. And Oklahoma almost loses to UCF. Texas is down. The QB, Ewers, is going to be down for some time, and Oregon's already got a loss. I mean, really, I'll tell you what, behind Georgia, who I'd have at 4, next best team is Alabama. And it looks like those 2 are going to play. So,
yeah, I think the news would – I mean, I'll go through my top 5 in a minute, but I think the news with Ewers with the AC joint, I think he's done. I think he's done for the year. I know they're saying it's not season ending. To me, it's season. To me, it's crushing because it crushes when you get to the football playoff and they start doing the rankings. You have to rank these teams on what their injuries are, and I think that's going to crush them. I think you pretty much can wipe them out, even though they only have 1 loss. I just don't think it's going to happen. Sure, be nice that there's the accountability for these teams when they struggle are the same as some other teams, but apparently the guys that do the rankings don't do that. But obviously there's still not a lot of respect for FSU. That's clear, and so they got to go out there and earn it, and that's fine. Do what you got to do. But my number 1 team's Michigan. I'm not going to change, guys. I've said this since week 2. I knew when I saw them the second week that this team's complete, and I know a lot of people's argument would be like, "Yeah, but Mike, they're not playing any." But it's like I don't care. When you dominate, you dominate. When you see teams that won the championship, those teams of Georgia that won the championship that were dominant, they were playing teams that weren't great either, but they went out there and when they played them, they dominate, and then when they play somebody good, they get the job done. So to me, Michigan is the clear favorite to me. Number 2 right now would be Florida State because of the wins. I'll mention why I got Florida State 2 is the reason I put FSU 2 is because I looked it up. They have the most college football top 25. It's like a PFF ranking, power ranking. They have more power ranking wins than anybody in the country. They have 3. FSU is number 2 for me. I think you win at Death Valley. That's big. Then nobody's done that in like 8 years. They won there. They beat a really good LSU team that's showing they have one of the most explosive offenses in the country. None of those teams have really held LSU down like FSU did. FSU essentially held them to 17 points. So that's impressive. When you look at that offense, they're averaging like 35 points a game with LSU, and then they just beat Duke, a really good Duke team. So that's like 3 wins, and
this is the beef, Mike. I mean, you look at this. We're going here for the preseason. You look at the coaches and you look at the AP. Florida State starts 8. LSU's way up there 5.
Yep.
We play a neutral site and beat the shit out of them. I mean, 45-17. I don't count the last touchdown because we had the 3s in. So we take their top 5 team and pound them 45-17. And so the reaction is to move the Noles up to 4 and to 5 respectively in the coaches poll. But if you look at the teams behind us, Washington here, and you look at this, we've got Washington and Ohio State behind us. I mean, how does Ohio State stay ahead in the coaches poll? They played nobody. We thumped the team right behind them, and we got camped out behind Ohio State. And it's like the favoritism here. It's like week 2, we're number 4, number 5 in the coaches poll. And then it's like, okay, they bump us up to 3 here in the coaches poll and then 3 here in the AP. And somehow we're losing ground, but we're still winning. How are we losing ground here? Now we bump down to 4 in the AP for the week 4, and they put Texas. So it's like anytime somebody got a big win, they would just jump us. Look at this. Now we're back down to 5 in the AP. All we're doing is winning. But anytime another team beats anybody, they just jump us with somebody. And it's like we didn't do anything wrong to get dropped down. We're beating teams on the road. We're beating Clemson on the road. We're beating Duke, a ranked team. We beat the hell out of LSU. And it's not like they got LSU buried. LSU's still ranked down there. I mean, they're still down there somewhere,
Yeah.
right? So it's just crazy to me. They look for any excuse. They want anybody up there in front of Florida State, and I think it's going to bite them in the end because they're pissing this team off. And these teams that you have in front of them are not going to beat them.
My opinion is they just don't like. This is a 2-year resurgent for FSU. My opinion is they do not respect or believe that FSU is to the level what we're seeing, even though they're good wins. Teams like Ohio State, they've done it, been there and done it. They win it consistently every year. They win 10 games, and they're holding, but they're not judging these teams of what they look. In my opinion, they're judging to what their past was or what the excitement about that program is. That was a really good win for Ohio State, and certainly we'll get into that when we do all the teams. But I think FSU is not. It's not being consistent of what they're doing as far as judging these teams. But that's what you have when you do coaches poll. You're going to have a bias to what you like, what like teams you like, and then the AP. That's just a bunch of media guys that are voting. That's all that is.
Well,
So
the big one comes out this week, right? We get the first
yeah,
playoff.
college football playoff one.
I'm going to be real interested to see what they do with Washington because Washington, for the third week in a row, I know they got the big win over Oregon, which was at home. They should win. You're at home.
Yep.
Okay. You're at home. You're supposed to win. They won by 3. Both Arizona schools they played, one was at home. They won by a score, right? And in a game they should have lost. Phoenix looked like crap, and they had to get a pick six, like a 90-something yard pick six to win it. And then 2 weeks ago, they won at Arizona, another mediocre team at best, by 7. So I really want to see what ESPN does here with these playoff rankings because there is no metric, no reasoning, no justification to have them over the Noles or for it to even be close.
Yeah, and I think because we've seen it this year, you look at the Pac-12, all the ranked teams. I think they're holding that credibility without them playing those teams yet.
Right.
Washington still has to play 4 ranked teams at the end of the year, so I think they're
Mm-hmm.
putting a established pedestal up there with Washington because they're not holding them accountable. Like anybody that watched that game, I watched it last night. It was 12. They were losing. Guy doesn't throw a pick six, that could be the upset of the week. But
Absolutely.
and then they played bad the week before that. So or when they played Arizona. So I just think that's what's happening. But the true tell sign will be what the college football rankings have. But as I said before, and I've said this to Rico many times, like FSU just needs to focus on what they're doing. And if they're undefeated and they still want to pull that, I don't think it's going to matter because I think these teams are going to lose. But you would like to see more consistency of when a team struggles, like UCF almost beat Oklahoma. Hold them accountable. When
Yes, they need to
when
drop.
like when Boston College played close with FSU,
We dropped.
they dropped. So just be
Mm-hmm.
consistent with what you're doing. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
would have if Ohio State struggles or any team struggles against a team that they should handle, you have to drop them. You have to. There has to be some penalty to it. And it shouldn't matter who you are.
Yeah,
So
there's no metric, Mike, for
right.
Florida State to play a number 16 ranked 5-1 Duke team undefeated in the conference play with their star back, and for us to cover the spread by 5, win by 3 scores, 38-20, and then you've got UCF damn near beats Oklahoma, and I believe that game was in Norman,
Yeah,
if
it
I'm not
was.
mistaken.
It was.
I mean, Oklahoma, you're dropping. Sorry, you're not close to FSU. And then Washington, you should have lost to a 1-5 Arizona State team if the coach doesn't make a boneheaded decision and not taking
Yep.
the points 4th and 10 on like the 13. It's just basic kick the field goal to go up 4. Like there's no other decision to be made. He's
Yep.
a bonehead and he makes a stupid decision. Washington, you would be completely out. So
Yep.
there's no metric for them to gain on FSU. FSU played a ranked team, won by 3 scores. These other teams played unranked teams at home, almost lost. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, and I think it's really disrespect factor, but Rico didn't let me finish my top 5. So I had Michigan, Florida State, and after that I got Ohio State because they certainly got a top 10 win. You have to
Mm-hmm.
put them in there. And as far as I'm concerned, then I would have Georgia, and then after that at 5, I guess I would stick with Washington for now, but
Mhm.
they look a little shaky to me. That's not a confident 5 for me, but that's kind of my top 5. I think definitely the top 3 have earned their way in there because all of them, I think have shown either dominance or they've got good wins, and I think that was a really good win for Ohio State.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we gave you a little bonus content there.
Yeah.
Noles 38, Duke Blue Devils 20. Noles are going to be at Wake Forest, a noon start next week. Business trip, guys. Don't want to be playing into that game late to the third quarter and fourth quarter with the starters. Want to get some other guys in there and build some depth and keep this thing rolling. So 7-0, looking to go 8-0 next week. Mike and Rico signing off. Godspeed. Stay blessed. Go Noles.